Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Under the Volcano. And I got a special screening of this documentary from director Gracie Otto about a remote Caribbean island under the shadow of an active volcano where the world's biggest recording artist made music and myth that defined an era. And it's interesting because Otto creates that kind of mythical atmosphere about this film. There's a mythos that you feel being created as you're watching this film. You can feel it in the music and the camera work, and just how they present everything is so engrossing and engaging in that way. And right off the bat, you're like, this is something interesting and special. What exactly is this Under the Volcano? And you have George Martin, who used to be the record producer for the Beatles. And this man is such a big fixture in music at that time. And you see him taking on this new duty and this new kind of place where it's like the Beatles broke up. What do we do next? And he wants to take things to a place where artists can be away from things and really just engross themselves in their art. And he finds this beautiful island, and this is the perfect spot for them to go. And you have all these musical artists, which I'm a huge fan of so many of the musical artists that appear in this film. Like, you have Elton John, you have The Police, you have Jimmy Buffett. Not the hugest fan of Jimmy Buffett, but you have Dire Straits. And you have all of these collaborations, and George Martin is able to go to creating his Air Studios in Montserrat and capture the spirit and wonder of this island paradise and this relaxed and chill nature of the people, and channel that into this recording studio and having all these different artists. The film is set up, the storytelling is pretty standard, to be honest, in terms of like, hey, here's the setup, this is who George Martin is, his legacy, worked with the Beatles break up, he comes to this island, we make this thing, and then you have a couple of different artists talking about their experiences. And I found it fascinating, those sequences of the film. Obviously, you need to lay down the history, which might not be as interesting just being played out as like, here's chronologically exactly what happened. But then you get into these interactions with the artists, with the Police, with Sting and Stuart Copeland, and then you have Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, you have Elton John and Jimmy Buffett really talking about their experiences working on their music, working in this environment, and you get to peek behind the curtain of their creative processes, which is something very invaluable. Those are precious kinds of moments, getting to see artists really opening up about their craft. And you get a range of different kinds of artists that you get to see in this. Like, they have some Earth, Wind, and Fire, you have Tommy Iommi, Lou Reed, and they all talk about these experiences, and you get these specific circumstances where you get to kind of peek behind, how did some of these songs come about? And as a music fan, especially a fan of a lot of the musical artists in this really enticed me, really engaged me, and Otto does such a fantastic job of pulling the audience into this story. Obviously, like, depending on who you ask, music isn't something that's going to be like earth-shattering or game-changing, but this documentary, even with some standard storytelling approaches, is an interesting dive into the creative process and really gives audiences a look at how much a particular place can have influence on the artists that are working there. And I love this documentary looking at George Martin's Air Studios in Montserrat and seeing all the magic that happened there. And by the end of this film, you feel that there's this mythos around all of this and that something truly special happened there. And I really appreciate this documentary. I really hope people go check this out, especially if you're a music fan. Eat this up. It's definitely worth it. But those are my thoughts on Under the Volcano. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.